Hello. I'm trying this live real quick. I had come to y'all last week and I had told you I would be back sometime. And last week I went over Isaiah 53 and 5 and how that we are a three-part person and that Christ took upon himself on the cross each part, spirit, soul, and body of us. And I told you that I was going to come back at some point and do another video, and so I'm here waiting on my phone to kind of charge a little bit, and I'm fixing to go running, and I just felt like that right now was the time to do this. I want to talk about fear real quick. In Isaiah 53 and 5, we see that Christ took on all this. He took on the spirit, soul, and body for us, and he took on anxiety, fear in that. And that way we don't have to experience that. And the Bible has a lot to say about fear. And I can tell you that anxiety is driven by fear. It's a fear that what might happen, what could happen, or what has happened. And most of the time it's not based in something that isn't real. It's based in reality. Our fears are based in reality, and that's how come we have them, is because we have seen certain things happen, and so then we are in fear about it happening again, or the potential of something similar happening again. And the Lord really has worked on me with this, with the fear part. Hope you can hear me. So in Job 3 and 25, Job says that what he feared came upon him. It's like the hedge that was around him had a gaping hole in it because of what Job feared. And in Galatians 5 and 6, it says, faith works by love. And the more we know how much Christ loves us, the more we understand that he doesn't want all these terrible things to happen to us. Then the more faith we can have in him to trade our fear in for his love and what he wants for us, and to visualize and to understand that he's not sitting up there wanting to throw fire lightning bolts down from heaven on us, that he is actually for us and he is in our corner and he wants things to go right for us. And so talking about fear, that was something that I personally had to relinquish. There was areas, we try to control in our life, and one of those areas I tried to control was in my kids. And now that they're older, they don't like it for their mother to try to control them. And my fear was not unfounded. I had founded fears on different things. The reason I was concerned about things, and I would text them and I would call them and I would be like, okay, are you at work yet? Or are you where you're supposed to be yet? And I'm not saying not to check up on your kids, because you have to. But once they get to be adults and have their own jobs and they're responsible, and they don't want their mom calling them at 5 o'clock in the morning when they make it to work to make sure they made it to work, or they don't want a text from their mom to make sure that they have made it to where they're supposed to be. But fear was what was driving me, and it wasn't unfounded. So I had to relinquish that, and I honestly had to just say, okay, God, I give this up. I'm not in control of this. This is a true fear, and I give this to you. 2 weeks after I did this, true story, my son called me about 5:15 in the morning, 5:25, somewhere in there, 5 o'clock in the morning, early. And he was like, Mom, I just hit a rock and I can't drive my truck anymore. And I'm like, you hit a rock and you can't drive your truck? That just doesn't sound right. What's going on? He had been on his way to work, and he had dropped a wheel off the side of the road, and his truck did a slingshot effect across the road, and he didn't hit a rock. It was a boulder, like a huge boulder. They were taking out a mountain, and his pickup slammed against this boulder on the side of the mountain, and just bent the frame of his truck completely in two. And if it hadn't have been for an iron cross bumper on the front of it, it probably, I don't even want to think about what would have happened. But anyway, the tow truck driver came and he was like, you do realize this could have been really, really bad? And I'm like, yeah. But it wasn't. That's the thing. I had given up that fear. I had turned it over to God, and honestly, I had just been like, God, whatever happens to him, I'm not in control of it anyway. He's yours, and you love him more than I do, and you want better for him than what I could ever imagine. And so I give that to you. And so I had to relinquish that fear. Was it easy? No. Did I want to still call him at times? Yes. But since then, it's gotten easier and easier and easier, and I don't live in complete fear like I did before that something was going to happen to him. There are days that still comes up, and I'm like, no, I refuse. I know that God has a plan for his life, and I choose to believe that God loves him more than I do, and I am not going to be a slave to that fear anymore. And so in Philippians 4 and 6 through 8, I wish I could turn there for you. I can't. I'm, like I said, out here at the park fixing to run, and I don't have my Bible with me. But it tells us the things to think on, and it talks about the peace of God ruling our heart, and how that we can think upon these things, and that the peace of God will come into our heart. And that's what I just encourage you to do. Go to Philippians 4 and read that, and you have to train your mind. It's not something that's going to come natural for you. It's actually something that you have to train your mind to do. And so if you'll just do that, you can see a humongous difference in your life, in your mind. That's how the devil attacks us, is through our mind. And just do that, and just let me know how it goes for you. Do it for 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks. 3 would be better. Training your mind to think upon the things that Philippians 4, 6 through 8, the whole chapter. Just read the whole chapter and start trying to train your mind on those. I do that myself, and I let myself know every day that God loves me more than I love myself. God loves my family more than I love my family, and he's wanting the best for them more than what I do. And so I just want to encourage you. That's how come I'm doing these little video clips, is for encouragement. I just want to encourage you to reach out and show somebody else the love of Jesus this week. We are his hands and feet on this earth, and that's how other people see his love, is through us. And so say something encouraging to somebody. Be that encourager to somebody. And I'm hopefully this will encourage you not to let fear control you. And thank you for joining me, and I think I'm fixing to go run, so y'all have a good night.